Order. This is our regular council meeting. Madam Clerk.
Councilman Galvin. Vice Mayor Desilme. Councilwoman Timothy.
Here.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin.
Here.
Mayor Bieneme.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance with Major Ramon Carter from the North Miami Police Department and the invocation by Rabbi Shmuel Juin from Temple Beth Monakim. Major
Councilman Galvin is now present.
Please place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing.
invocation.
Good evening. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. This is a Hebrew proverb, loosely translated as how good and pleasant when people sit in the spirit of togetherness. This quote is from a great sage, a Talmudic sage from the Roman time period. His name was Rabbi Akiva. He actually was, interestingly, he was illiterate until the age of 40, until he met his wife. Behind every great man, there's always a woman pushing him to do better. And he learned to read and become greater and much more than what he ever imagined after that. God, please bless this gathering of civil servants to feel the sense of fellowship. May this gathering serve as an example of the power of the few, joining together to serve the many. There's a Jewish holiday called Tu B'Shvat. It's a holiday for the trees where we celebrate the new year of the trees, and it exemplifies the power of growth. A little tiny seed creates a sapling, creates a tiny tree, which then creates and bears fruit for the many. There's a famous story with an old man who is planting a carob tree, which takes many years to grow. And a young man walks past him and says, "My good sir, why are you toiling under the hot sun to plant a tree you'll never see the fruit of your labor?" And the old man replies, and he says, "When I came into this world, there was plenty, and I had much to take care of myself with. I'm planting so that my children and grandchildren will also have that same plenty as I came into the world with." May God grant you the foresight necessary to continue the growth and beautification of North Miami. May the city plant seeds so the future generations can enjoy of its bounty. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Madam Manager, do you have any addition, deletion, or deferral to the agenda or any amendments?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Attorney, is the agenda set?
Yes, Mayor, the agenda set, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. Let's start with special presentation.
Mayor, for the record, as of 7:06 p.m., Vice Mayor Desilme is now present. Commander Brinson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Major Angelo Brinson, Emergency Manager. For the COVID-19 update, the 7-day average positivity rate for COVID-19 across Miami-Dade County has increased from 19% to 21%. The total number of new cases recorded last week in Miami-Dade County was 12,838. While this is an uptick in cases, the COVID-19 related death rate is still below 1 at 0.6. So that's going in the right direction. We just have to work together, continue to get those new cases down. The City of North Miami continues to offer COVID-19 testing in partnership with Nomi Health. COVID-19 testing is available here at North Miami City Hall Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the patio area of the lobby at City Hall. Testing is also available at Cagney Park, located at 13498 Northeast 8th Avenue. That testing at Academy Park is offered 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Also for the hurricane update, June 1st marked the start of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season here in South Florida, and the city of North Miami is ready to respond to any storm or hurricane. Thus far this year, we have conducted training with all of our departments. I've started to attend HOA meetings, and I will continue to attend more meetings and public events to pass on information about preparedness. As I do each year, I meet with the managers of each of our 5 nursing homes in the city to make sure that we're aware of the current staff and that they are ready to defend and protect our most vulnerable and prized residents at the nursing homes. And we've also recently gone live on an additional platform to provide notifications to our residents. This system is known as Everbridge, and we have branded it as NOMI Alerts. I have these flyers that are available in the back for everyone to sign up for NOMI, or you can go to our website, northmiamifl.gov, and click on the link to register for NOMI Alerts. And that's my report for COVID-19 and hurricane preparedness. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we have another special presentation, and let me call Assistant Chief Angel Riviera. And also I want to continue to thank the chief, the assistant, and the entire police department for everything they've been doing to making sure our residents are safe. And everywhere I go, and they are thanking me for the police department. And we have a special presentation for the police department. Understand that a few years ago, the police department, right, was reaccredited, right? This is a big accomplishment for a police department. And right now, another big announcement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to conduct this presentation. I'm going to look in this direction because my boss, the Chief of Police, has no idea what this presentation is about. And I can imagine the look on his face right now as he's probably saying, what is going on around here? But I'm going to carry on. I wanted to let the Mayor and Council and residents know that just recently, our Chief of Police, Larry Juriga, was awarded by the Miami-Dade County Association of Chiefs of Police the President's Leadership Award. This is a highly prestigious honor. Now, the association that bestowed this honor on our chief is comprised of hundreds of members, various law enforcement executives. And as a member myself, I can tell you that it's very hard for this group of individuals to agree on anything. However, when it came to choosing who the recipient of the President's Leadership Award should be, it was easy for them to reach a consensus. And I'm going to play a quick video.
Our motto is making a positive impact. Making a positive. Our motto is making. Our motto is making a positive impact. Making a positive impact. I will lead by example, and we will each do our part.
A brave little boy had a chance to spend the day as a captain of a law enforcement vessel.
Yeah, 6-year-old Kaysen was named an honorary boat captain by the North Miami Police Department. Kaysen is locked in his second fight with brain cancer, and his family says he's always wanted to be at the helm of a police boat.
We're going to earn our community's trust by being transparent with our investigations and by being a visible presence within our community.
A South Florida Police Department holding a sweet swear-in in honor of a tough and brave little boy. The 4-year-old is battling cancer, but he's always dreamed of being on duty as an officer.
We'll enhance youth opportunities through mentoring and through involvement.
The North Miami Police pulling out all the stops to host a superhero-themed birthday party for Eli Payne, to make it a day to remember for this 6-year-old who is battling cancer.
Because remember, we're not right simply because we wear the badge. We must be right because we wear the badge.
Mr. Incredible, we need your help.
I will be exiting very quickly, stage left, once I'm done. I'm in trouble, I know I am. I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say that we have the best chief of police around, whether he's our Mr. Incredible or Mr. Superman, whichever you prefer. And the council and residents can attest to the countless selfless acts that our chief does day in, day out in our community. I'll tell you a personal anecdote about the chief. I've been in a car with the chief of police, we've been driving around. We've gone to an apartment complex on Northeast 6th Avenue. We've gone upstairs, we've knocked on the door, and I've seen the chief of police reach into his own pocket and give a family money. We've left, I've asked the chief, who was that? He's turned very matter of fact and said, just a family, that was struggling. And then with a very stern look, he'll tell me and order me not to tell anyone about what just occurred. And as I'm saying it, I realize I'm violating an order now, so I'm really in trouble. But again, the residents can attest to the chief going to visit you when you're ill, helping you with your storm shutters, going by your house to sing happy birthday or bring you flowers just to cheer you up. John Maxwell is credited with saying, "A leader is one who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way." Our chief, Larry Juriga, is the epitome of an exemplary leader. He leads by example. The men and women in our department, the men and women behind me are honored to serve under his command. So I ask you to please join me in recognizing the 2022 President's Leadership Award, our very own Chief Larry Juriga.
I'm going to get all of you. Angel, I'm humbled by your kind words. Thank you, my friend. It's humbling and an honor of mine to serve this community. And you can see true leaders standing here with me. They care about this community. They care about one another. They love this community, and they love one another. I'm so humbled. And I'm honored to have the opportunity as well to work with elected officials who care about the community as a whole, but they take care of individual residents. If they need a little something here or there, they take care of them as well. And of course, our leadership, our manager, and her staff provide us with the tools we need to get this done. Again, I'm humbled. It's a team effort here, and I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
We need some on this side. I got it, right? All right, everybody smile.
You take the picture last. You take the picture last. Right?
Rosa wants to take it with her profession. Yeah. Thank you.
The second presentation, let me call Vice Mayor Alex Desulme in recognition of immigrant Heritage Month?
Yes.
Oh,
this
good.
month, all month. Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and I think it is an understatement. Someone mentioned regarding our chief, we do have the best, I think, in the world. And what you heard, the sentiment about him and the things that he does, nobody needs to know. And Chief, I'm gonna keep it between us, and he truly, truly means everything that he does from the bottom of his heart. But I am here on behalf of the entire council, and I would be remiss if I don't call up one of my mentee, I could say, Vanessa, come on up, Madam Clerk, as a former clerk. Immigration has been a hot topic for many, and especially for us. Most of us on the council are immigrants or of immigrants' descent. And she's not? She's an immigrant also. So as important as this month is to us, as we make aware, as we advocate for the rights of citizenship in this country, there's no one who better off when it talk about immigration, when it comes to the topic of immigration, than City Clerk Vanessa Joseph, because she's passionate about it. So when she called and talked to me about this, it was a no-brainer. And I'm someone who likes to not take credit of what people does, but this was really her idea, and I truly wanted her to come up and present the proclamation. Although we'll give it to you, Mr. Mayor. How do we give? Who's gonna accept it? Would it be? Okay, you go ahead. This is your show. Go on.
Hi, everyone. Once again, my name is Vanessa Joseph. I'm the elected city clerk for the city of North Miami, but in real life, I am actually an immigration attorney at a nonprofit organization. And immigration is a huge part of my life because in every place that I've ever worked, I've worked in serving immigrants. And I myself am the child of immigrants. I employ people from other countries, not intentionally, obviously no EEOC claims, but it just so happens that our community is filled with folks from across the world, and that's actually a really beautiful thing. And overwhelmingly, people really do want to see comprehensive immigration reform, want to see a system that is fair, regardless of where you come from. So Immigrant Heritage Month is extremely important, and I know that it's not only important to myself, but also to the council. But today we wanted to present this proclamation to just one organization that's doing amazing work in this space, and that is Forward US. And for those of you who don't know about Forward, Forward is essentially a bipartisan organization that works across the aisle to bring sensible, reasonable immigration policies at the local, state, and federal level. And here in the city of North Miami, we're blessed not only to have me, yours truly, but we also have a resident by the name of Ted Hutchinson, who is the Florida State Director for Forward US. So we're going to present this proclamation on behalf of all immigrants. Ted is right in the back. Hi, Ted. Ted, say hi. Okay. And so it says, whereas generations of immigrants come from every corner of the globe and have built our country's economy and created the unique character of our nation, whereas immigrants continue to grow businesses, innovate, strengthen our economy, and create American jobs in the city of North Miami, whereas immigrants have provided the United States with unique social and cultural influence, fundamentally enriching the extraordinary character of our nation, whereas immigrants have been tireless leaders not only in securing their own rights and access to equal opportunity, but have also campaigned to create a fairer and more just society for all Americans, and whereas despite these countless contributions, the role of immigrants in building and enriching our nation has frequently been overlooked and undervalued throughout our history and continuing to this present day.
And now, therefore, in consideration of the foregoing, I, Dr. Alex DeSome, Vice Mayor of the City of North Miami, and on behalf of the entire City Council and the residents of the City of North Miami, do proclaim June 22nd, which the entire month, to be Immigrant Heritage Month. Mr. Hutchinson, please come up and accept this in the City of North Miami and urge all residents to join in support of the celebration and witness of thereafter and on. Yes. Anyone else from the organization? Awesome. Thank you.
So first and foremost, thank you, Vanessa, for making this happen. I initially reached out to Vanessa about doing a proclamation, and honestly, I was expecting an email saying, hey, come pick up your proclamation at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But then I got a text message the other day saying, oh, we're doing a presentation at the City Council. So thank you so much for doing this. Vice Mayor, great seeing you again. We used to work together back when I was at Feeding South Florida, doing all the food drives that we do here in the city. So, great to see you. Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you all for doing this. Really appreciate it. Like the mayor said, immigration is a polarizing topic, but we take the month of June to sort of step back, celebrate our communities. You look around this room, I'm sure everyone here has a family member, a friend, we all have an immigrant story. And so, just want to reemphasize, what immigrants and the community means, not only, the city of North Miami, but the state of Florida as a whole, right? So thank you for this. Thank you for the celebration. I really appreciate it. So thank you, guys.
Scott, many of them. Pictures they take. You see them? The pictures we take. Do you see them? No.
And let's move with. Do you have any events or announcement? Do you have any?
Yes, we do, Mayor. Good evening, good evening, everyone. My name is Kata Phillip on behalf of the City of North Miami. The North Miami Public Library just kicked off their fun-filled summer lineup of for the entire family. Monday through Saturday until July 30th, there will be an activity planned at the NOMI Library. All programs are in person and RSVP is not required. See our exciting lineup by visiting northmiamifl.gov/celebrate. The events for the summer are sponsored by Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy and the Friends of the Library. For more information, contact NOMI Library at 305-891-5535. District 1 Councilman Scott Galvin invites you to the street naming ceremony in honor of Roger Wingirter on Wednesday, June 15th at 1820 Northeast 144th Street, North Miami, Florida at 11 a.m. And the reception will immediately follow. To RSVP, visit Street Naming Wingirter at eventbrite.com. Join Mayor Biename and Sugarcane Magazine for the 2022 opening ceremony of the Juneteenth celebration on Wednesday, June 15th at 6 p.m. at the Mocha Paradise Courtyard. The event will be hosted by WSVN 7's Donovan Campbell and feature the Culture Ambassador Honoree Jawan Strader of NBC6, I apologize. RSVP via email at sugarcanemagazinelive@gmail.com. The City of North Miami is pleased to host its inaugural Juneteenth celebration, bringing back Black Wall Street on Thursday, June 16th on the Mocha Plaza, located at 770 Northeast 125th Street at 12 noon. The event will feature guest speakers, food trucks, DJ Meat, a live performance by Miami rap artist Billy Blue, Black-owned businesses, and a voter registration drive hosted by Engage Miami, a local nonpartisan civic engagement group. For more information, please contact the Office of the City Manager at 305-895-6511, extension 12112. Join the Black Professionals Network for a special networking mixer you won't want to miss in celebration of Juneteenth. Build your professional networks and win prizes over Juneteenth trivia. This free event is sponsored by Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy and will be held on Thursday, June 16th at the NOMI Wildcat Center, located at 1600 Northeast 126th Street in North Miami from 6 to 9 p.m. To RSVP, please visit mybpn.org/events. In continuation of the Juneteenth events, between Friday, June 17th through Sunday, June 19th, celebrate Juneteenth Fest at Griffin Park, located at the corner of Northeast 123rd Street and West Dixie Highway. For more information, please contact Dr. Gwendolyn West at gspence45@aol.com. Extended Hands, Inc., in partnership with Councilwoman Cassandra Timothy, present Father's Day and Family Barbecue, an event for the whole family in celebration of Father's Day. Join the fun on Saturday, June 18th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Clyde Judson Center, located at 12100 Northwest 16th Avenue. For free haircuts available to fathers at a first-come, first-served basis. Space is limited. Please RSVP by calling 305-779-5195 or visit Father and Family Barbecue at BBQ at Eventbrite.com. The Youth Opportunity Board is once again recruiting income-eligible students for placement in paid internships at the city this summer. The internships will allow selected students meeting the income limits an opportunity to learn and become involved in the inner workings of local government. Applications must be submitted online by Monday, June 20th, 2022. Once vetted, applications will be sent to participating city departments to coordinate prospective interviews. The program will begin July 5th through August 12th. Please visit northmiamifl.gov/1055 for details and to complete the application. Also contact Recreation Supervisor at 305-895-9840. You are cordially invited to the swearing-in ceremony for the North Miami Commission for Women. The event will take place on Tuesday, June 21st from 6:30 to 8:30 on the Mocha Plaza, located at 770 Northeast 125th Street. To RSVP, please visit swearing-in-ceremony-cfw.eventbrite.com. We're calling all students who live or attend school in the city of North Miami, age 14 to 19, to celebrate with the North Miami Youth Council with an end-of-the-year school bash. The event will take place on June 24th at Desertland, located at 14401 Northeast 19th Avenue between 6 to 9 p.m. at the skating rink. Music will be provided by DJ Lucky C from 99 Jams. This is a free event, and for more information, please contact 305-895-9818 at the Mayor Council's office. Jazz at Mocha is one of South Florida's longest-running free outdoor jazz concert series and one of the museum's most beloved public programs. Join us on Friday, June 24th, to enjoy a free concert and pay-as-you-wish admission to the museum from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. The concert will feature Magila Herrera. Join Police Chief Jariga and your friends at the North Miami Police Department for a fun morning of fishing and engagement on Saturday, June 25th from 8 to 11 a.m. at the North Bayshore William Lehman Park, located at 12220 North Bayshore Drive, North Miami, Florida. Please bring your own fishing poles, and limited fishing poles will be provided. Bait and light refreshments will also be provided on site. Children of all ages are welcome. For more information, contact your North Miami Police Department at 305-891-0224, extension 23202.
Please be sure you keep the bait and light refreshments separate.
Yes, they are separate. Sorry. Beginning Saturday, June 25th to July 30th from 2:30 to 3:30, the North Miami Public Library will host a family gardening program with Master Gardener Jerry Ann Barros. Participants will learn composting, wonders of seeds, amazing succulents, and much more. To register, please contact the library at 305-891-5535. This event is also sponsored by the Friends of the Library. Great news, the North Miami Public Library and Flow, the Florida Licensing on Wheels, will be offering DMV services by appointment only on Tuesday, June 28th from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30. Please also contact the library at 305-891-5535 to schedule your appointment. Also, please note, in observance of Juneteenth, the City of North Miami offices will be closed on Monday, June 20th, and will reopen on Tuesday, June 21st. To stay up to date with NOMI news and events, log on to our website at northmiamifl.gov and click on Connect with NOMI on the homepage to sign up for our newsletters. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at NOMI News. That's all for this evening, and on behalf of the City of North Miami, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, Katia Filippo. And now let's move to appointments. Do you have any appointments?
No, none today, Mayor.
Thank you. Item 8, consent agenda.
Unless a member of the City Council wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, tabs A through B constitute the consent agenda. These resolutions and items are self-explanatory and are not expected to require additional review or discussion. These items will be recorded as individually numbered resolutions adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of tabs A through B be adopted.
Now your motion on the consent, please.
I have a question.
Yes.
I can second it, but I have a question, please.
Yes.
On tab B for the library, we're waiving fees. Can somebody elaborate
We are
on that?
waiving debt, not
What is, okay.
past due.
So with respect to tab B, this resolution would be to waive the current library cardholders' account balances. It's approximately about $30,000. One of the reasons why we're moving forward with this, many libraries across the country have moved forward with a fine-free library, because what happens is that the account holders don't want to come back because they owe money. And sometimes we end up losing the books instead of that. So the way this would move forward, if you bring a book late, you can still bring it back and you still have all your privileges at the library. This is to encourage more people to come to the library. What we wouldn't be changing here is that if someone doesn't return an item, then we would charge it. But if they brought the book back, they would have it. And currently we have an accounts receivable in the range of about $32,000 currently right now. But over the years, we don't collect very much, and the collection has been less and less, particularly with the pandemic. So what we've tried to do, for one, we had the Food for Fine programs where we allowed people to bring in canned goods, and then they could have their fees waived. This is to do the other so that we can encourage more patrons to come back to the library. Because we have a library system that's independent, many of them leave our library system and go to Miami-Dade County or will go to other libraries. And so people from our community are leaving our library system and not coming back. There's over almost close to 12,000 that owe us money. Those are people in the community that could come back and be part of our library system.
So is there a time limit on waiving this fee, or it's just?
Well, right now, we would be waiving all current right now, so we'd start off, we're a fine-free library right now.
All past due fees?
Yeah, all past due fees. Moving forward, we would be charging for those who don't return their books.
So
if they-
tomorrow, once we pass this, tomorrow, anyone that borrows a book tomorrow and does not return it, they will have to pay a fee if they're late or whatever. But anyone in the past will not have to do that.
Anyone in
is
the
that-
past won't, but we're not going to be enforcing the late fees, but if they return the book, we can waive those. If they don't return the book, their fees will be there and they wouldn't be able to get a card until they returned it.
I'm sorry?
It's no fees unless you do not return the item. So it'll be marked, yes, it's coming late, but if they were to bring in the book, it's okay. But if they don't bring in, not just the book, because we also lend other items as well, then they would still have the charge.
At the rate that we're going, why do we even have fees? It seems like we don't really want to charge, you know?
Right, I mean, generally we don't, because that is just discouraging our patrons from the library. And what they found is libraries have become more successful by not really doing the fine fees so they don't lose the patrons. Particularly because at some point they usually bring them back. For instance, a lot of kids will keep the books, parents are looking to find them, they finally find them, but by the time they do, they've had such a long fee, they just keep them in the house. Here, this encourages them to bring the book back, be part of it back. So as long as you bring back what you borrowed, you get to keep your privileges.
That's it.
Can
Thank
I
you.
motion on the consent?
There's already a motion and a second, because I seconded it. I just want clarification.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Urban. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab C.
Tab C, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager and city attorney to negotiate a lease agreement between the City of North Miami as landlord and Coral Rock Development Group LLC as tenant for the 2 city-owned properties generally located at 800 Northeast 132nd Street, specifically identified with folio number 06-2229-049-04990. And 06-2229-049-0520 for a term of 70 years, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab C.
Thank you very much.
I do believe that the group that's proposing the lease is here today, so I would ask if they would come up.
But you said the city administration, you have presentation?
They will be doing the presentation.
Hmm?
They will be doing the presentation.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor. Pedro Gasson of Honda Knight with offices at 701 Brickell Avenue.
I'm joined this evening by representatives of Core Rock Development Group, Michael Wall, Victor Brown, and David Brown. I'm also joined by our consultant, Rigo Kayard, as well as Larry Spring. This property is a property that's located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Northeast 131st Street and Northeast 8th Avenue. It's just south of the North Miami Public Library. We are proposing as part of this site to do 100% affordable housing on the property. It's going to help address the serious affordability crisis that we're facing throughout the county, that the mayor of the county has recognized and that this council has recognized with respect to the need for affordable housing. But in addition to that, Mayor, what we're doing is providing for a mixed-use development that will have over 7,000 square feet of retail, business incubator, and we have worked diligently with the North Miami Chamber of Commerce to provide for an agreement, a letter of intent that we will be working with them in order to provide for space that the Commerce can use, and so that we can be able to work together to provide for affordable housing and provide for the retail and the business incubator space that we're seeking to provide. As part of the process, I don't have an easel, what we're going to have to do is go through a conditional use permit process later on if it is the will of the council in order to get 138 affordable housing units developed on the site and approved. We will also need to get the 7,000 square feet of retail approved on the site. What we're proposing today is simply a rendering of the site of where you can get a feel for what we're going to provide on the property. This is the proposal that we would like to have on the property. We understand that there's going to be a more delineated process by which we're going to have to go through in order to get a conditional use permit process and then get the site plan approval for the site. But as of today, we just want to be able to be in a position to have 100% affordable housing units on the property. We're willing to commit to that. We are committing to that for the entire 70-year period, which is unprecedented throughout the county. So that is essentially the bulk of our presentation tonight with respect to the application, and we're happy to answer any questions or concerns with respect to the project.
Thank you very much. Do you have any question at this time?
Do you want to open it up to the public first? Or?
No, just unless, there's some question that we may discuss and the public maybe.
A quick one.
Yeah, for the public.
My quick question, Mr. Gassant, is I know that you're discussing with the J.C.'s, but my understanding is there's no Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce, that's correct.
There's too much happening in this city right now. I can't keep up. So you're talking to the Chamber of Commerce, but you do not have an agreement signed in writing between yourself and the Chamber.
We do have an executed LOI with the North Miami Chamber of Commerce.
So, and this might be a question that staff has to answer later. If that LOI doesn't get brought to fruition, how does that impact this project? Because obviously the Chamber of Commerce site would look a little awkward if you tried to build around it.
So it's fully our anticipation that we will be able to enter into an agreement with respect to the North Miami Chamber of Commerce. As far as I've been told from the principals of the organization, that they are fully going to make sure that the chamber is on board. They want to respect the chamber's rights. They know that the chamber already has a long-term interest in the property, so they don't want to put the chamber in a position whereby they're being adversely impacted with respect to what we're doing. So we want to be respectful of what the chamber is seeking, and that's the reason why we wanted to make sure that even before we came to the council, that we at least had a letter of intent. It's their full intent to go through the process, because we still have to come back to the city for the conditional use permit process. We still would have to come back before the city before the site plan approval, and because of that, we know that it's essentially a non-starter should we come back before this council and we don't have an agreement with the North Miami Chamber of Commerce, because then you have essentially a hole in the donut with respect to our project.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Oh, for me, thank you. I know this project is located in District 2 and it's very close by to the library. Have you guys been in discussion with the library as well to talk about how this project would affect them, since it's literally behind it?
So I know that we've had a community meeting at the library specifically, but with respect to the library, I'm not sure if we haven't yet had any discussions with them. We anticipate, as we're going through the process for finalizing this lease and going through the CU, that having that discussion is going to be important, because we certainly want to make sure that our residents have access to the library and that we can provide for the best possible public goods for the site.
And so before us today, this is just for the city to lease the land that the chamber is currently on for a term of 70 years with the 2 options to renew.
Absolutely. So it's essentially authorization for, I believe, the city manager and the city attorney to negotiate at least with us to move forward with having a lease on the property. We would still have to come back before this council for a conditional use permit process and a site plan approval for the site.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Question?
Thank you. Councilwoman Irvin?
Thank you so much for your presentation, and I get that this is for negotiating for a lease, but before I can agree to a lease, I'd like to know, I like the 100% affordable housing that you're planning. Do you have any idea of the units? Do you have any, I know that, how many units will be there?
We are anticipating, Councilwoman, 138 units on this property. That's going to have to be more defined as we go through the conditional use permit process. We have a mix of 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, and I believe 3 bedrooms on the property. We anticipate that that's going to address some of the need within the city, but that process of delineating specifically the type of bedrooms is going to be something that we work through, particularly through the conditional use permit process and the site plan approval, given the fact that I fully anticipate that your staff at the city is going to have a variety of different parameters with respect to design standards. So we want to make sure that we're taking all of those into account as we're designing it. But as it stands today, and as I stand here before you, the contemplation is that we're going to have 138 units on the site.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Desulme.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Garcon, Mr. Council, we have not met, just for clarification of this project. However, I will definitely support this because I've heard about some talk about this project, but this has nothing to do with you in particular, but I don't think it does, but just take it in terms of a lesson of, because we do have a lot of folks who are interested in doing stuff with the city. Please do your due diligence to make sure that you speak or respect everyone who sits up here. Not only the person in the district that the project represent, because even if stuff in my district, I have to respect the mayor and every of my colleagues. And there's a job that the administration should do in terms of letting us know of some stuff, because a lot of things I'm finding out when they're coming or the day of. I had heard. No. But it's okay because I learned about it. But Mr. Bernie, Dave Bernie, a couple of weeks ago did mention that, and I've heard some stuff, but that's stuff from the street, nothing officially from any of the parties who call my office and sit down and talk about that. So I don't mind it moving forward, but I do think, and I don't think it's you again, we need to work on, in terms of administration, letting us know about these going projects. At least we will know what to take, and especially when it's involves city land, and what we need to do in terms of that. But it's okay because the folks behind
I think in a sense both parties are responsible, whether the applicant or the administration, and are responsible to making sure that
at least we're aware.
Every member of the council are.
But Dave did come and tell me, and I said Dave
on the project. And my point, and I started that project talking to the applicant from day one, and I think the first day when they took me to the site, and I'm the one that asked them to, why don't you do something together with the Chamber of Commerce? Because if you use the back and the Chamber of Commerce on the front, why don't you do a mixed-use project? And I think I called the Chamber of Commerce, and you sit down with them and try to do something together so we can have a better quality project. And I'm happy that we're able to work something out, and the administration bring it tonight for approval. And I think, I hope that you continue to work with the Chamber of Commerce, and so we can have a quality and project like a mixed use. You're gonna have up front, you're gonna have the commercial, and the back you're gonna have the residential.
Absolutely, Mayor. Thank you.
You're gonna say something.
Just one last question. Was this what they call it, a Was this put out to bid, or this is a exclusive?
This was an unsolicited
Unsolicited
proposal that was
proposal.
provided to the council by memo.
Okay.
I received a copy.
Yeah, it was provided by memo. I wrote a memo to the council.
Yes, and if you want.
We've spoken about it.
Memo, we
But
got
it's
it.
not,
Yeah,
but it
please
is, but it
communicate.
was not a bid because it was unsolicited proposal.
Okay.
And so that's how this came before.
I'm telling you guys that this memo thing, we gotta send the memo and communicate.
Thank you very much, and now let's open it to the public.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
No, we are public hearing, and if they have any question. Public hearing is now open.
I have a comment that was previously submitted.
Yes.
Thank you. This is from Dave.
Can we finish
Burney.
first? Can we do people who are here first, then we will, do you have any public comments? Public comments is now closed. Yes, ma'am.
So it's still open? I could read the letter?
It's open to read.
Yeah, open to the public, now you can.
Okay. This is from Dave Burney, Greater North Miami Chamber of Commerce Chairman of the Board of Directors, 13100 West Dixie Highway, North Miami, Florida, 33161. Ms. Theralis, as Chairman of the Board of Directors for the Greater North Miami Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber, and on behalf of the Chamber and our Board of Directors, we are excited and eager to work alongside Coral Rock Development Group for the Kayla project. Kayla at Library Place LLC's Kayla has been proposed to us to develop the 1.1 acre site located at 13100 West Dixie Highway, the property, with 138 residential units and over 10,000 square feet of retail. The Chamber applauds Kayla's intentions to make a project 100% of the residential units affordable. Thus far, Kayla has shown tremendous zeal and commitment to work with the Chamber to provide a great space that will continue the vision of our Chamber. The space is expected to meet the needs of local small businesses and create opportunities for businesses altogether in North Miami. We see this project as an extraordinary opportunity for the City of North Miami to provide the residents with access to affordable workforce housing while growing its local businesses. With that said, the Chamber hopes that the City Council of the City of North Miami will provide direction and support for the City Manager and the City Attorney to negotiate a lease with Kayla for the subject property.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is still open. Public hearing is now closed. Can I hear a motion on tab C?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab C. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Estime Urban. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you, council members.
Tab D.
Tab D, a proposed resolution of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the City Manager to issue purchase orders to Hometown Trolley Incorporated as the sole source manufacturer and distributor of Villager model trolleys in accordance with Section 7-143 of the City Code of Ordinances and an amount not to exceed $901,428 for the purchase of 4 Freightliner 31-foot Villager model trolleys, providing for an effective date and all other purposes. Tab D.
Thank you very much, Madam City Manager. Can you do a quick over, just a quick, so we don't have to go to too much detail if that's the case?
Quickly, we did have an item before to purchase the trolleys. That actually entity went bankrupt, and they were no longer willing to manufacture the trolleys. So currently, we have a new item for a new set of trolleys. We're going to be going direct to the manufacturer. The difference, however, is that these trolleys are going to be brand new, a later edition, a later year, so there'll be 2022 trolleys, and the cost is an additional $64,000, which would be taken out of the transportation surtax funds. So we're moving forward with the 4 trolleys now with this new manufacturer. And just a couple of quick, we were able to receive our deposit back from the original sale. So we got that, we moved that forward. I know there has been some questions regarding whether or not we could do different type of trolleys that were more clean energy. However, we've tried to do those wouldn't be available, and their cost is about 2 times the cost of these. So we'll be looking in the future for some grants for those. But that's what this item.
Thank you very much. Do we have any question on the dais?
Quick question. When you say different types of trolleys, Ms. Manager, were you talking about the inquiry I had yesterday and today about electric?
Yes.
Okay.
The electric
So
trolleys.
there were no, just to clarify on the record, there were, if we were to right now instead decide to purchase electric-powered trolleys, I think I remember hearing there were only 2 that were potentially out there when we have 4 routes. Is that
Right,
accurate?
no, well, it wasn't that there was 2 out there, it was that the cost was double each one, so we would have only been able to afford 2. However, most importantly, most notably, was that they were not going to be able to guarantee, even by spring of 2023, that they would be available. So they couldn't give us any time frame that electric trolleys would be available in the next year for certain. So then we wouldn't be able to purchase them for certain.
Okay, so I agree, it's good to try to help the environment with electric vehicles, obviously cost permitting, so if there's somebody in the future can make a note that when these are up for renewal, we could look at electric.
We will do that. We're actually looking into currently funding sources for electric for the future. So if we were to do that, we would purchase them from there, from some of that was allocated federal government. So we were working on that.
Yes, go ahead.
And refresh my mind on the routes.
You're changing.
Yeah, no. Do any of the routes go east of Biscayne Boulevard, or all of the routes west?
They go east.
Just one moment. I have the Public Works Director here with me, and he'll be able to.
Where's the
better address it.
transportation director? You don't have one? Do we have one?
Mohammed, I don't think he's here.
Where? He's here?
No.
Madam City Manager, do you have a transportation director?
Transportation's under Public Works, and Public Works is coming up. Mr.
Madam City
Whisper
Manager,
here.
do we have a transportation director?
We have a transportation manager that works under the Public Works Department.
Manager, you don't have a director. Okay, I didn't know that. Go ahead, sir.
You don't have to read me each, it's a yes or no. Are there any routes that go east of Biscayne?
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, there is a route that goes east of Biscayne.
To FIU, I think.
Yes, to FIU.
But it's not
and
going
to-
through the residential neighborhoods of Keystone or San Souci?
I don't know if you'll be able, yes, it goes through, it goes to the Arch Creek area, east of 135th Street. It goes to FIU, east of 151st Street. And it also goes east of Biscayne to around San Souci Boulevard.
Okay, but it doesn't go through any of the neighborhoods per se. It seems that it always sticks onto the main thoroughfares.
Right.
Where probably there are other Metro bus connections. that
Right,
they can-
and that's the similar route throughout the city, usually on the main thoroughfares.
Gotcha, thank you.
And the new routes begin, the new routes do they begin at the end of this year when the trolleys are implemented?
Yes, we plan on implementing the new routes when we have the operator on board and we have the trolleys
Okay,
as well.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab D. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab D. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 4-0 vote.
Thank you.
Second reading.
Tab E, a proposed second reading ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 29 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances entitled Land Development Regulations at Article 5 entitled Development Standards by amending Divisions 1 and 16, specifically at Section 5-101 entitled Accessory Uses and Structures, and Section 5-1611 entitled Mobile Food Dispensing Vehicles to modify the location where mobile food dispensing vehicles may operate in the city in accordance with Section 509.102 parentheses 2 Florida Statutes 2021 and Section 3-302 and Sections 3-1004 through 3-1007 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances, Chapter 29, entitled Land Development Regulations, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date. Tab E.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is Derek Cook, representing Community Planning and Development. As stated by the Honorable City Clerk, the item before you is the second reading for the mobile food dispensing vehicles.
Okay.
This item was sponsored by Councilwoman Timothy. First reading occurred on the 24th of May. At that meeting, Council voted to approve it with some modifications to the amendment. It was to support, this item is to support additional entrepreneurship and opportunities within the city. It also will allow for locations where the mobile food dispensing vehicles can operate is currently limited to the M1. This will expand that use to the C1 district, and it will be limited to only at locations that have permitted primary use of mechanical car washes. The two items that you added as conditions were to include a distance separation requirement for placement of the vehicles between sites that allow for mechanical car washes to avoid for concentration. During that meeting, you did not specify a distance separation. Since then, staff is discussing, we added a 500-foot separation between any uses, between any existing. Right now, we have a very limited number of car washes that have mechanical uses within the city, but if any others came about, which would require a special exception to do so, they would need to abide by a distance separation of 500 feet if another one was within their range and also had an existing food dispensary vehicle on there. Your second item that you had as a condition that was directed to the city manager to have a code compliance audit existing food dispensary uses to make sure that they have the proper licensing and compliance with the standards in section 5-1611 of the item.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab E. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the item at tab E. The motion was seconded by Mayor Bienemay. Mayor Bienemay, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desilme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
The motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab F.
Tab F, a proposed second reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, providing for a text amendment to chapter 29 of the city of North Miami Code of Ordinances by amending Article 2, Division 2, entitled Planning Commission, and Division 3, entitled Board of Adjustment, to further clarify membership terms, providing for repeal, conflict, severability, correction of Scribner's errors, codification, and an effective date. Tab F.
Thank you very much. This is the second reading. Let's open it to the public unless if they have any question. Public hearing is open on tab F. Public hearing is now closed.
Move for
Do you have
approval.
any question here? No. Thank you. Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estime Irvin to approve the item at tab F. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Timothy. Vice Mayor Desilme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estime Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Bienemay, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. Tab G, a proposed first reading ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida. Ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city, it's repeated. North Miami, Florida, amending Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances entitled Administration at Article 3, entitled Boards, Committees, Commissions at Division 9, entitled North Miami Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, AHAC, specifically at Sections 2-237, entitled Composition, and 2-242, entitled Staffing, to modify the composition and staffing of the AHAC to comply with Section 420.9076 of the Florida statutes, providing for conflicts, severability, codification, and an effective date. Tab G.
Yes. Yes. Madam
Good evening,
Advisor.
Mayor and council members. Back in 2008, council approved the creation of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee as required by Florida statutes 420.9076 for all counties, local governments recipient of the SHIP funding above the minimum allocation, which is $350,000. The committee was active for some years until the time the city's allocation fell under the threshold. This year, the city will receive an allocation above the minimum, which triggered the reactivation of the AHAC board. As administration is working with the council to appoint new members to revive the committee, the legislature, in the meantime, back on October 1st, 2020, made some changes in the statutes that affect the composition and staffing of the board. To remain in compliance with the requirements of the statutes, we are respectfully asking council to approve the amendment to section 2-237 of the ordinance that address the composition of the board, where it is required now to have an elected official on the board and to have at least members that meet 6 of the requirements of the board. And section 2-242, staffing, to have both the community planning and development and the housing and social service department as the departments overseeing the board. This concludes my presentation. I'm here if you have any questions.
Next question.
Thank you very much. Go ahead. Go ahead, Councilor.
Oh, thank you so much, Madam Brazil, for your presentation. You said that there are 6 requirements that are required to be on the board. Could you state it on the record, please?
We send it to us.
Give me a minute
Do we have the
here.
board already?
Mhm.
You got it? Okay.
Mhm. We need to have one citizen who's actively engaged in the residential home building industry in connection with affordable housing. One citizen who's actively engaged in the banking or mortgage banking industry in connection with affordable housing. One citizen who is a representative of those areas of labor actively engaged in home building in connection with affordable housing. One citizen was actively engaged as an advocate for low-income persons in connection with affordable housing. One citizen was actively engaged as a for-profit provider of affordable housing. One citizen actively engaged as a not-for-profit provider of affordable housing. One citizen was actively engaged as a real estate professional in connection with affordable housing. One citizen who actively serves on the local planning agency pursuant to Florida Statute 163.3174. One citizen who resides within the jurisdiction of the city. One citizen who represents employers within the jurisdiction, and one person who represents essential services personnel as defined in the local housing assistance plan adopted by the city. So basically what they're asking is, we may not be able to find 11 people with those criteria, but they need at least 6 of those members to meet one of those criteria.
Thank you for stating it on the record.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on tab G. Public hearing is now closed.
Move for approval?
Second, but I have a question, Mayor.
Yes.
Because it's an 11-member board, correct?
That is correct.
And, okay, so we each appoint 2 plus the
2
one
and then
council
one
person.
elected
Okay, just wanted to
official.
make sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion on the floor?
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimé Irvin to approve the item at tab G. The motion was seconded by Councilwoman Timothy. Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desame, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Biename, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estimé Irvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Tab H.
Please be advised that the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to speak in favor of, object to, or comment on an item, please complete a public speaker's card indicating the agenda item number on which you would like to comment. You must be sworn before addressing the City Council, and you may be subject to cross-examination. If you refuse to submit to cross-examination, the City Council will not consider your comments in its final deliberation. Please also disclose any ex parte communications you may have had with any members of the City Council. City Council members must do the same. If you are giving testimony today on the item at tab H, please rise and raise your right hand as I issue the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say aloud, I do.
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is Derek Cook representing Community Planning and Development. The item before you is a text amendment for the LDRs dealing with vehicle sales and display minor. So in April of 2009, the city established the C2BW zoning district and subsequently approved the applicant's Fiat dealership that same year by way of a text amendment to allow for vehicle services and sales to be permitted under the retail sales definition, which allows for a primary new vehicle sales display within an enclosed building with a maximum of 20 vehicles that may be displayed outside. Since that date, the applicant has expanded the inventory that with the Alfa Romeo dealership and the Fiat dealership brands, which has required for the ability for the increased number of vehicles and used vehicles on the site. So, with that in mind, what this is going to do is to allow for the section of the LDR amendment, section 4-202, types of uses to allow for vehicle sales and display manner in the C2BW zoning district via a special exception. It also will establish a distance separation for properties fronting Biscayne Boulevard, and the Article 7 definition will be defined. So more specifically, what it would do is it will permit, through a special exception process, to provide for subject properties borders on Biscayne Boulevard and is to separate a minimum of 2,000 feet linear from another vehicle sale establishment. And it also will revise the definition for retail sales and services by striking out the element that says sales of principally new automobiles involving outdoor display of a maximum of 20 automobiles, which may have a 30% of ownership of pre-owned cars, will be removed from that definition. And it also will add to the definition vehicle sales display manner, which will allow for businesses or commercial activities involving display and or sale of principally new automobiles, small trucks and vans, and other small vehicles or transport mechanisms, and may include vehicle services as a definition. And what is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is ultimately to preserve the integrity of the retail sales service use and prevent the possible proliferation of vehicle service sales and facilities within the commercial district, because that retail sales at this time is allowed in all commercial districts and by right. And this would eliminate that vehicle sales being allowed under that definition and specify that now they can be allowed on Biscayne Boulevard through that definition, but you would need to have a minimum of 2,000 feet separation between any of those services of that type.
Any other presentation, sir?
That's it.
That's it? And we do have 2 mics, just in case. And we'd like to recognize, although he's coming in a different capacity, but former Mayor Kevin Byrne here with us.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. My name is Kevin Burns, 2065 Alamanda Drive. It's a pleasure to be here. We've been working on this item for about 2 years, 2.5 years. And I'm here just to give you background on how this Fiat dealership in Alfa Romeo came into existence into North Miami. Back in 2009, the city of North Miami, as the country was coming out of a recession, the site where they're located now was the old Blockbuster. You all remember Blockbusters and videos. It was an old Blockbuster store. The city, our Community Development Department were out actively searching new organizations to come into North Miami, and we stumbled upon Fiat. And Fiat was just reintroducing themselves into the U.S., and they chose North Miami as one of the very first new locations in the country to bring this brand back. And at that time, we had no regulations of how to govern the car sales. And so we came up with it, and we said to Fiat, well, how many do you need to display? What was the thing, the process? And their concept at the time was that they would not need to display that many vehicles outside. Moving forward, Fiat was very successful. This particular location also was able to bring in the brand Alfa Romeo. But as we all know, times have changed. Back then, there was no electric cars. Back then, there was no a lot of different things. And so we've had to display more vehicles, new models that came out, an SUV and so forth. And so it became necessary to display more vehicles. And also what happens is they realized that people wanted to see and touch the different models of the vehicles. And so that in turn made us in violation or not in complying with the city's
Wrap it up, Mr. Byrne.
Pardon?
Wrap it up.
Oh,
Time is
okay.
up, yeah.
But as part of the legal presentation, it's unlimited, isn't it?
Time? Okay. Oh, you represent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it became necessary so that we're in compliant. We took this item to the Planning Commission, and they unanimously approved it. We worked with the city staff for many years in the community about this. And real quick, this dealership or this showroom was established in 2009. They have been there now for 12, going on 13 years. They have been a very important part of the community. They have hosted many events there for some of the local groups here, and they've been a good partner. I'm going to introduce the attorney, Mr. Riley. He's going to talk about the legalese items, but I wanted to give you the background on how we got here, and they are in a very important part of our community, and if there's any questions that you have, we'll be happy to answer them. Mr. Riley.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. For the record, my name is Bill Riley. Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the council, thank you for having us tonight. It's my distinct pleasure to appear before you. I don't get that often to appear before this council, and I've been working with your staff now for probably about 18 months, maybe a little bit more. Started during the pandemic, and they've been great. And it's been a pleasure to represent Carlos, who's standing behind me, who may want to say a few words. I first met Carlos as a client, one of his car dealerships. And I've been a client ever since because he has a stellar reputation in the car business, and he is very responsive and runs a very immaculate shop, as you can probably tell by the picture that you've seen before you and driving along Biscayne Boulevard. I'm very proud of Carlos, and I became not only his attorney but a friend. Very proud of the success he's had with the Fiat dealership here in North Miami. I know he's very proud of it. He's very proud of the Alfa Romeo. And it's sort of like looking into the past, right? So right now, Tesla is sort of like a product. When Mr. Burns was talking about when Fiat first reintroduced itself to the United States, at that time, it was a strange concept to have such a tiny car. You know, nobody thought that they would have these tiny cars on roads in the United States. Everybody had these large SUVs and sedans and station wagons and so forth for family vehicles. So at the time when this ordinance was first adopted and the special exception was passed, it was almost akin to what you're seeing now in the Tesla industry. Well, I went to Naples a month ago, and the reason I'm telling you the story is because it rang true to me. I saw the first Naples open-air Tesla dealership, and that's because people wanted to touch and feel and drive the cars. I would like to do the same. So when we got into the retail sales and service category, I'll give you an example of what that category says. It says that it's primarily for new goods, products, materials, and services directly to be consumed within an enclosed building. Examples are grocery stores, bakeries, but also include outdoor vehicle sales for up to 20 cars. Now, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, council members, during those 18 months that we worked with your staff, we came up with 3 changes in the ordinance, and they're very brief changes. But there's 6 criteria that we had to prove in order to earn your staff's recommendation. And we were very meticulous, and your staff was very meticulous about making sure that we lived to the letter of the law, made sure we proved each of those criteria, satisfied all the requirements, and earned their recommendation. We were able to do that successfully with the help of Mr. Burns and Carlos. And then secondarily, we went before your planning board. And after probably an hour presentation, we were able to earn their unanimous support of recommendation. Those 6 criteria I won't bore you with going forward. I know I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I do want to just mention that on the third recommendation, the third change to the LDR, the definition, we do want to request one amendment for your consideration. Right now, that amendment strikes the limitation of 20 vehicles. We would like to continue to striking the 20 vehicles, but limit it to 65 vehicles, so that there is a ceiling. And maintain that ceiling so that makes sure that there is a regulation that your code enforcement maintains to make sure not only the distance separation, but actually the quantity of cars on site that are stored outdoors are maintained in a pleasant experience. And with that, I'll conclude my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions.
Mr. Mayor, right quick, Bill, just for the record, your name?
Bill Riley Jr., William Riley Jr., 1671 Northwest 17th Avenue.
Thank you, sir.
Representing the applicant as the attorney.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk?
Tab H, a proposed quasi-judicial first reading ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of North Miami, Florida, providing for a text amendment to Chapter 29 of the City of North Miami Code of Ordinances by amending Article 4, Division 2, entitled Zoning District, specifically at Section 4-202, modifying types of uses allowed in the C-2BW zoning district, and amending Article 7, entitled Definitions, specifically at Section 7-101, providing for repeal, conflicts, severability, correction of scrivener's errors, codification, and an effective date. Tab H.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Tab H is open to the public.
Kenneth H., 13045 Emerald Drive, North Miami. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I walk that street every day when I do my six miles a day. I want to impress you with that. Not bad for an old guy. And for the last 9 years that this business has been in that location, I got to tell you, it's been impeccable. It's clean. The vehicles are fantastic. It's not like the old days when we had Monroe's Eater. Scott, you remember that, Monroe's Eater and Crippen O's. And we had these signs out there, and it just declassed. It just made the neighborhood look like hell, excuse my language. This is a classy operation. They took over the old Blockbusters. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of impressed with the vehicles. It covers Fiat, Alfa Romeo, but there's some beautiful Rolls Royces out there and some really classy cars. And I walk by there just about every day. And I got to say, and the owner also is a resident of North Miami. He lives in Sans Souci. And I think that's what we're looking for, the entrepreneurial skills to put people to work, to keep our businesses within the city. And I think granting this is the right thing to do. It really is. They do a nice job out there. The place is always spotless. It's just a clean, nice business, and it's a benefit to the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Public hearing is still open. Public hearing is now closed. Do you have any?
I have a question.
Who want to start?
I don't mind starting. Will this impact the neighboring, the residential area at all by adding additional cars? Can all the 65 cars fit on the current lot as it states, or are you guys taking, curb parking?
Yeah. There's plenty of parking there now. It's part of the shopping center that exists there with Navarro's and Red Lobster and so forth. Absolutely no residential around that. And also this is the LDR, that zoning district, which is just only on the west side of Biscayne Boulevard that this affects, but no impact whatsoever. And this is a district amendment, but as the dealership owner, Carlos, has stated through his attorney, they're going to limit it to 65 vehicles, even though the property could probably hold more. But when they go to staff with the special exception and the other items that they have to go deal with, they're going to proffer only 65 vehicles so that the property's not overloaded.
Okay, and so currently you mentioned that there's more than 20 cars and that there was some issue with code enforcement. Will this, I guess, rectify that issue so that you guys are no longer in violation of the code?
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And
When
then
you said
lastly, why-
60, when you said 65 cars, new, used, and parking?
Yes.
And
They
then
still have to meet the standards of the required parking spaces for their customers, and they still have to have the fire lane, they still have to meet all the
Now I'm talking
code.
about 65
and then-
on-site.
On-site, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And then my last question, why was it only limited to 20 cars initially and not?
Initially, the issue was Fiat, in negotiations with the city was going to not put any limit because I was part of that. And they said, no, it's a new concept. We only need 20, 30 car, limit there. We don't want to have cars displayed. This is a small location. And the previous owners of the Fiat dealership proffered the 25 cars on that site. Other than the staff at the time and the city at the time was going to allow it to be unlimited, actually.
Mr. Cook, did you have something else to add? Oh.
He would like me to clarify for him, it's 65 on the outside display. We will not exceed that, even though there is more room to exceed that. They are not going to.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I have a real quick question, and this is pertaining to the language when you mentioned some work was done with staff, et cetera, et cetera. I get a little worried when we talk about text amendment to our LDR and to our overall plan, because it impacts other areas. I don't have any problem with the particular plan with the Fiat project, but as you look at the this ordinance, it touches, some amendment to our chapter 29 that does impact some other areas in the city. I know we worked hard to put these particular, I guess, stuff within the LDR for a particular reason. So, and I was never told, or I don't know if anyone else here, why we are, taking it. Again, I don't have any problem with that particular project, but if we do that, it does open the floodgate for any other development in other areas. I don't think everybody is aware of when we are talking about these text amendments for future use of map land, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, Mr. Cook, and I was gonna call you, so I'm kind of glad you came up. What was specifically, what is it being asked of us to do that has absolutely nothing to do with their proposal, or would we need to change our, current text amendment in order for them to get accomplished what they can? And my next question, legal question would be to the attorney, is there a way that we could do that without amending the entire other zones of the code?
If I may,
Yes, sir.
Vice Mayor, this only affects the C-2BW district.
Yes.
That district only exists along Biscayne Boulevard. They would not be able to do what they're asking to do tonight unless we make these changes they're requesting.
Okay, but Mr. Cook, as I'm reading this, and I don't know, so this is only, again, and I want to make sure, only applies to that corner of 130 First, whatever on Biscayne Boulevard we are talking about. Any amendment to the text would not affect any other, is it C2BWC, whatever the code you guys classified it as, in the district elsewhere?
It won't. So just for, if I may reiterate and for clarification.
Yes,
As
please.
it stands right now, we have a definition for retail sales and services.
Yes, that's what I
Within the
wanted.
confines of that definition, it allowed for the use of new and pre-owned vehicles with a maximum of 30% pre-owned and only 20 cars to be displayed. And based on that definition, retail sales can occur in any of our commercial districts.
Alright.
C1, C2, either of them. Now, with this modification that we're doing, we are redefining retail sales and services, eliminating that element when it deals with automobiles. So now you no longer can have automobile services that meet that criteria in any of our zoning districts except for the C2BW, which this is specifically for that area. And you have a distance separation that you must abide by of 2,000 linear feet.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
So what will happen is now when we was open to any commercial district, now you're just restricted to the C2BW.
I got, okay. In the CB2W that we have right currently, it's only on Biscayne.
Yes,
that we
sir.
have it.
On the west side.
On the west side, you sure?
Pretty much.
Okay,
And a little bit on 125th Street.
Okay.
If you're going going westward on 125th, you have a little notch that moves up there on the north side.
Northwest on 113, no, we don't. I knew that was coming.
So, right, if you're on 125th, really it's 123rd, if you're going, traveling down Biscayne Boulevard southward, and you take that right onto 123rd, you have C2BW, and you're moving a little bit west, you have it there. I think it's about 4 lots or something like that, I'm not sure.
That's fine. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I can get you on the record for that. Thank you, sir.
And if I may, Mr. Councilman, to expand on that, we actually enhanced and added more restrictions to that district.
Okay, that's what I
As the
kinda
director
figured.
said, it was wide open before. Now it's very a niche area.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you,
very
Mr.
much.
Mayor.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mayor, Mayor?
Yes.
Before you take the vote, the applicant had some language that they suggested to limit it or to cap the number of vehicles to 65. And before you take the vote, I just need to know if that's going to be included for second reading or not.
So, thank you for mentioning that. Actually, I was going to ask, may I ask a question? Mr. Cook? Right, so you heard the amendment. Are you recommending that as well? Or do you have an issue with that? Is there anything?
That's a restriction that they desire to have for them, so it limits to them the 65 maximum outdoor display vehicles.
Now it's
That's
20,
right.
right?
And they want to have that specifically for them. Not to belabor the point.
If you remove the restriction, it could be more.
More than 20.
Correct,
No, more
yes.
than
correct.
65.
Oh, how
Now
much
they
is it
want
now?
to keep it.
So it was originally 20, and now way the code is, it would not have any
No,
limit
no,
on it.
got it,
And
got
now
it.
they're
So we put it
restricting
next-
it for them to 65.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I'll amend my motion to accept the amendment proposed by the applicant.
Within the 30 days, okay, not to exceed the vendor.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Estimate Urban to approve the item at tab H with the amendment proposed by the applicant. The motion was seconded by Vice Mayor Desamay. Councilwoman Timothy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Estimate Urban, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Bieneme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Desamay, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries with a 5-0 vote.
Thank you. Before we leave, if I
Thank
can
you
ask
very
a question of the council. Second
Question.
reading was originally scheduled for June 28th if it was successful here. You all are having a special meeting on June 30th to take up some other community.
2 meetings. We're having 2 meetings.
Okay.
The 28th and the 30th.
28th, your regular scheduled council meeting the 28th, which we were originally scheduled on, and also you're going to, I believe, have a meeting on the 30th. Since we're only a second reading, and we really don't want to be here the night of that special meeting that deals with the
That's
items to the
That's up
east,
to the-
we
Yeah, that's
prefer,
the-
would
the
appreciate you all
That's
indulging
that's
us
the
to
city
stay on that
manager.
agenda.
That's the city manager.
Leave them on
Okay.
that one.
Please, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Citizen forum. Any resident wish to speak, please come forward.
I do have a previously submitted comment, Mayor. Quenisha Wallace, she did not provide an address. I I would like to remind you,
No,
ladies
if
and
you don't have
gentlemen.
an address, no,
Yeah.
you don't have an address,
We'll do that.
not a public record. It's incomplete. Thank you. Public hearing still open?
Good evening, Kevin Burns, 2065 Alameda Drive. Thank you for opening up Citizens Forum. I've had a couple questions in the last few days from some of the local businesses, and I believe this is a council directive. During the COVID issue, we have allowed, or the city has graciously allowed, some of the restaurants to have outdoor seating and to erect tents in different parts of the city because the patrons wanted to sit outside. A couple of the businesses that got notices that saying your tent has to come down on July 1st. Some of them reached out to me, and again, I'm just here as a citizen conveying to them that if on July 1st, if they don't take that tent down, that they'll be in violation of the city code. I don't know if our COVID procedures have ended or so forth, but you all are still behind protected glass. There's still a lot of people who like to still be outside under a tent. And if not, at least give the business operators a chance to come into the city to present a plan so that they could some way add outdoor seating, which a couple restaurants have made permanent outdoor seating. But again, 2 weeks from now, some of these businesses have to take down. There's still a lot of people who are concerned about sitting inside. So if that's just something you would consider, if you all agree with it, to allow staff to put another grace period. As the Director of Emergency Management said, COVID is on the rise again in Miami-Dade County, and it's still an issue here. And so, again, some of the local businesses have asked me to reach out to you all about this.
Why, Mr. Byrne? Why would they call you? Were you a member on the flyer?
Citizen forum. Not
No, I want to.
Let him finish it.
It's because I'm and people know I'm affiliated with the city and know who do I call?
You're affiliated with the city?
I still live here, yes.
Okay.
I know a little bit about
You say
things.
affiliate.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
But I thought that was something that the city should promote because outdoor and facilities, because a lot of people are still scared of eating inside. I think we should change our code to make it some type of permanent thing for those restaurants who want to have those seating area. And I see that I don't see any problem with that. And I see some people, they have permanent outside seating. Jeff, can you say something?
Mayor, this is completely inconsistent with the last meeting we had. The last meeting, we brought an item for drive-throughs, and one of the things that the managers spoke to on making the procedure to allow drive-throughs in the city a bit easier was COVID, and the board specifically said you guys didn't want that. So, I heard her say it myself.
No, there is a difference between drive-through that's gonna with those noise, with those mic and all those things versus seating outside.
Mayor, the item we bought about the drive-through was specifically because during COVID, a lot of the places that around the city, they were doing drive-throughs. If you remember, we passed a bunch of ordinances when COVID came to allow restaurants to operate easier. So we're just trying to be consistent. I don't know where the notice came from, but to me, we got to be consistent in what we're doing.
Okay, I understand that, but now we're talking about sitting outside sitting. I think that's something that we should promote throughout the city. It's not just a temporary thing, and I see it everywhere. And maybe we'll discuss that with the manager and come up with some type of solution for outside seating. I don't know, what do you think, guys? When I go to a restaurant now it's hot. That's people get inside, but at the end of the day, I prefer sitting outside. Except Mary.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I didn't know.
It's Citizen Forum. Let's finish with Citizen
Nobody
Forum.
else is coming up, Mr. Mayor.
Citizen Forum still open. Citizen Forum is now, and Madam Clerk have some previously submitted comments, right?
Quenisha Wallace, Mayor, Council, and City Administration, I would like to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, as leaders of North Miami, our city and surrounding areas have just graduated young men and young women of color, and not to mention have many other youth that will have spare time on their hands. My hope is that we adults discover we need to mentor and help these young people and turn their focus onto possible careers with the city, as we have a Parks and Rec department with men getting older in age, as we also have a Public Works department of the same. Let's open the doors to the younger generation.
That's it?
Yes, Mayor.
You're trying to get Jessica to send an email.
Now, council report. District 1.
Sure, be very quick. Had a resident ask me about the DPAC downtown committee. I wasn't aware they had been disbanded, but there are several members who apparently still want to serve. What should they do? What should our procedure be? Should they contact the clerk's office? Does the clerk already have applications?
We did, it wasn't disbanded. Remember that this was an item we brought before with the list, and then it was asked to redo it. We brought an ordinance to change how we're doing it. We're in the middle of advertising now, which sent us back to having to advertise for it. We have some applications on file, so that it wasn't disbanded. It was just that the council directed us to rewrite how the day pack moves forward, which we did. We brought the ordinance, and then we were directed to go back and re-advertise it. And I believe we've been re-advertising it, and we received some applications. And then we would be sharing with you all the applications, and you'd be able to pick 3 each from the day pack.
When can we do that?
Well, we are still in the application process. I believe we just got some back recently. It just closed out.
So June 28th or June 30th?
I don't know if it would be June 28th or June 30th. You just send a memo, so it might be
July.
on the, probably on the, maybe on the July agenda.
From the city clerk.
Yeah, I just want some certainty, so I'm not answering questions for the next 2-3 weeks. When? I don't know. When? So, you know, that kind of thing. So target is second Tuesday of July.
If we receive all of the, if we receive those appointments, and then the clerk has the ability to vet all of them.
Because they all have to be appointed at one time? Are you saying that it's collectively, or is it one by one? Like, how does that work?
No, it's kind of how they do it here, but we have some that were already on file, that came on file after the whole new process. And then we were directed by the council to go back and advertise for a specific period. So after we passed the ordinance, we went back out, we put out advertisement on applying for it, but we have the original application, so we need to go through those and then finish the application process, then we can bring it forward. So we'd hope to bring it to you by the July meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, my other question, Sans Souci Tennis Center. What the heck is going on out there? What is our plan for repair? Please tell me we're not just letting it sit there when we could have filed an insurance claim and be moved along there. What's going on with the tennis court, please? The tennis building more so than the court.
Unsafe.
The insurance claim would be something separate because it would be just getting back, and sometimes we get those claims later. We're not waiting for the insurance claim, but we did have to have separate engineer, and we do have quotes, and we're going to put that out so that we can get, we just recently got all the different quotes. So what was brought to me recently was to either see if we can do it out as an emergency or have to put it out as an RFP. That came to me this week after we got the actual engineers to go back to the actual roof and see what needed to be done. So we hope to get started as soon as possible.
Well, okay, the same question as last thing. What's the target date?
I don't know the target date for fixing it, but hopefully we can award something in July as well so that we can get started on fixing it.
Okay, thank you.
District 2.
Thank you. On the note of the tennis center, I've been acting as well. It's taken over a year now just to get parts for Alfred Bisset Park. And these are just parts to replace the metal pieces that are protruding. So that's why that park is still closed as well. And I get emails from Ms. King every so month asking about when is that park being opened up. But it's just that there is a serious delay right now with parts and getting things together. And people are not working. That's another thing as well. For District 2, we'll be celebrating Juneteenth on Thursday with Black Professional Networks with the networking mixers. So come out. And then on Friday, we're celebrating fathers and families. It's a barbecue. There's going to be, oh yeah, thank you for the bicycles, Mayor. Mayor will be raffling off some bicycles. There'll be, Mother's Day, there's flowers, there's cards, there are balloons, and sometimes the fathers get left out. So we're having a fathers and family celebration. There'll be diaper distributions for the dad, there'll be haircuts, there'll be barbecue. So it's for the family as well. So come out and tell someone that we're celebrating.
Diaper for their children.
For
not
their
the
children, not
dads.
for the
Okay,
dad.
I just, yeah.
No. Unless you guys need some.
Yeah, I felt sort of, I felt that comment, I didn't know.
No. That's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you, District 3. Joe.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. This is Councilwoman Mary Estime Irvin, wishing you a happy National Caribbean American Heritage Month. This is a National Caribbean Heritage Month as we celebrate and want to share some facts. In 1968, Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm became the first Black woman elected to the United States Congress. Congresswoman Chisholm would represent the New York 12th Congressional District from 1969 to 1983 and was a Caribbean American. The Congresswoman was born to Guyanese father and Bayesian mom. I encourage all of you to learn about Caribbean Americans that have made an impact in our history. I'd like to also thank everyone that joined us on Saturday for our bike ride. We had a whole lot of fun. I would like to thank Councilman Galvin for partnering with me. Really appreciated you being there, and Mayor, thank you for attending. I want to thank all of our sponsors that attended, in particular the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce, Dave Byrne, who's always such a great help to us. A special thanks to the police department, the best department in the world. For the safe route. Please join us again. So during the summer months, we take a break. So the next bike ride will be September 10th. So please, another opportunity to get in gear. Also, congratulations to the class of 2022. I'm so proud of you graduates, you North Miami graduate, you North Miami resident, in particular the School of North Miami Senior High School and Alonzo Mourning, our two high schools here. I'd like to do a special shout out to the board members that represent that district. School board member Dr. Gallen, Steve Gallen III, and school member Lucia Geller. For giving myself an opportunity, and I believe the mayor as well. We attended the graduation. Again, congratulations, students, and congratulations, parents, for the achievement that your children or your child has done. This week, I am so honored to join. I said this already. On June 21st. You are cordially invited, and it was mentioned already, to a swearing-in ceremony that we're having for our North Miami Commission for Women. This event will take place at MOCA. I hope that you all attend on Tuesday at 6:30 to 8:30. After 94 years, this commission actually voted to create an ordinance to have a women's commission, and so I hope that all of you come out and celebrate and come to the ceremony. And I'd like to wish everyone a happy Juneteenth, and also want to wish happy Father's Day to all the great dad, but especially to my father, Jean-Luc Estime, and if there are any fathers on this dais, happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much, and let's only note, when you say 2022 graduation, you're talking about high schoolers.
That's correct.
But when it comes to school, we have middle school graduation, elementary graduation. Just to mention that, the city of North Miami have 3 school board members, Dr. Dorothy Bendos-Mendengal.
That's correct.
You have some school in the city of North Miami also.
I represent my whole district.
Yes.
Yes, that's my mom. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Councilwoman. I'm going to keep it real brief. Just wanted to mention, I was kind of taken by surprise, Scott, because the Chief of Staff today, we were talking about DPAC, and I gave her, because I didn't have anyone on there, some recommendation today, and I saw Sarah in the audience. I gave your name, Sarah. But 7th Avenue, after a couple of years of fighting, I want to say thank you
to the administration, but particularly, is someone right here? Mohammed, and also our Assistant City Manager. It's been a fight, but to this council as well, it's looked pretty okay. So, Madam Manager, please make sure that the Public Works, they finish the work. It looks real nice. They started with the palm trees, so people probably don't notice because they come here and they complain so much, and I'm pretty sure we would have gotten emails if it was something bad in the median, but this is something that for years we've just been asking for palm trees and stuff, so all of the trees have been taken down. They are replacing them on the side of the road, and in the median we are putting nice beautification, so there is that that we've been working with the administration on ongoing. But that's basically it, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And that's basically it. I will talk about tomorrow.
June is
Thank you.
Pride Month, and this month we continue to honor Councilman Scott Galvin, the longest serving member on the dais, and you were with us Saturday and doing the business luncheon. You received the key to the city, and I can wait to sign that resolution renaming the Wildcat to Councilman Scott Galvin Community Center, whatever the name we want to call it, and the Scott Galvin Center or Scott Galvin Community Center. I don't think I have anything for tonight, as far as see you tomorrow afternoon for Juneteenth opening reception in the Paradise. Madam Clerk, do you have any report?
Yeah, just a reminder to everyone to please, if you are not already registered to vote, register to vote. Primaries are coming up quickly. We have our own municipal elections coming up next year, so it's extremely important that everybody get registered to vote. I also want to remind city administration that the city clerk's office is a department within the city, and so for some reason, we don't get trainings on emergency issues. So the hurricane training we didn't get. I think my staff would appreciate that. And also when we're scheduling meetings, we'd like to know not just at the same time as the public, because we have plans we have to make. And I can't really disclose the details, but I'm part of something that now will require me to be away sometimes, so I just need advance notice so that I can plan. If I hadn't attended today's meeting, I don't think I would have known that we have a special meeting on June 30th, so that's all.
We just finding out ourselves, right?
We just find today.
I just found out
We just
today.
find out.
Join the line, take a ticket. Behind me.
Move to adjourn?
I didn't know she's city attorney, any report?
No report, Mayor, thank you.
Chief of police, any report? Madam City Manager, any report?
I just wanted to bring up a calendar issue and see if you all wanted to vote on the change. August 23rd.
What happened?
A calendar issue for the
Oh,
meetings.
okay.
August 23rd is the county election, and it's also a scheduled council day. So I was asking if you all want to vote on moving that meeting to the following Tuesday, which would be August 30th.
When we are voting on the recess, we will do it. You
That's
remember?
fine. We can bring
When
that
we-
as,
when we're gonna
we can
vote
bring
on
that
the
as an
recess,
item onto the
yeah,
recess. Is that a date that makes sense? Because we bring the item forward.
We do it the week after.
It's the week after.
During the
August 30th.
recess,
So
yeah.
from August 23rd to August 30th, you're going to come back to us?
No.
She's saying she's making dates.
Because we're going to do the recess date, so if everyone would be okay with August 30th, that would be the first meeting coming back.
Yeah, that's,
That would be okay.
1 week.
1 week after or
Yeah.
September, no?
1 week after.
Okay.
No, September, we're gonna have all the two budget.
Oh, that's true, that's true. I forgot about that, yeah.
We could just
She
skip the
did.
budget this year.
Why not? Hey, I wasn't here last year, we could do that. Yeah.
Any other report?
I forgot about that.
Oh, we will be sanitizing City Hall at 6:30, starting 6:30 a.m.
What
tomorrow, so.
What's at City Hall?
Sanitizing City Hall,
Santa?
6:30 a.m.
Sanitizing.
Oh, sanitizing.
Oh, project
I
into that microphone.
I thought you said Santa. I'm like, Santa, am I missing something?
Madam Deputy City Manager, do you have any report? You sure? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
They already made it. Scott made it.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to adjourn, seconded by Councilwoman Estimate Irvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. It is 8:52. Good night.